So, welcome, and may I have your names? Who? Hayden. Oh, hi. I'm Tom. And what about you? Jack. Hayden and Jack. Yeah, welcome. So, have you been meditating or any practice in meditation? Okay. Okay. So it's okay. So you knew that's good. We have to start fresh with the new start with the correct way. A lot of people who already meditate and then they come and they often stick with the practice they did it previously, and sometimes it's hinder what we learn here. So you start out fresh, which is good. So here we practice called vipassana meditation, or we call insight meditation. And why this is called insight? With this practice, you eventually cultivate the knowledge we call insight. And this insight is different from the knowledge, that the insight that you normally get from your, from learning from outside, which is the knowledge to, you learn it from college, from school, from life, right? But this knowledge is about how to conquer, to overcome your defilement. Because through defilement, you have a lot of dissatisfaction and a lot of suffering in this world, as you all know. All of us, every single one of us, not just only human, but animal, all beings who still has the root of greed, anger, delusion. We're prone to suffer so much from that. And the only way to overcome this suffering or dissatisfaction or defilement is the insight, the knowledge. Once who has the knowledge will have peace and loving kindness to all being, all the positive. So that's why insight is very important in this aspect. And how do we do it? We have to cultivate it through this called vipassana meditation. We need to correct or to straighten the distorted view that we have. Because of the greed, anger, delusion, our view got distorted. And when we get distorted, we have the wrong understanding, and we grasp the wrong understanding. That's why we end up having a lot of suffering or dissatisfaction. I would call dukkha in the ancient Buddhist term or language. Okay. So vipassana, our insight meditation, is practically not very difficult to start out, but it needs consistent and persistent to progress, to grow, to cultivate this insight. But if you are to give it up too quickly, then you gain nothing out of it. I give you a perfect example is like you go to the gym, you need to build up this muscle mass. You need to have a toned body, fit body. But if you only go to the gym for some time and then you quit, and then you quit for a long time and then you come back, you won't develop this muscle mass, the tone, or, the body that you want. You need to regularly come and consistently and persistently to work on it to get the benefit. Same goes with the meditation. So that's why it's very important that you need to stick with it and be on track at all time. Okay, so that's one to stress out. So let's go to the technicality of the practice. Vipassana require you to do in 4 postures, not just only sitting. Because a lot of people think that when you meditate, you need to sit and you need to close your eyes and you need to follow your breathing. Okay. Well, yes, that's one posture of it. One posture. The other 3 is to you can do it while standing. You apply the same technique while you do the standing, and you applied it to walking, and then lastly is lying down. So 4 postures: sitting, standing, walking, and lying down. So there's no excuse that you don't have time to do it. A lot of people say, well, my life is so busy, family life, work life, I don't have time to sit and meditate. Well, for this technique, you have no excuse, because if you don't have time sitting down, you can always standing when you get in line, queue up, whatever, or just 5-10 minutes that you need to wait, you can apply the technique. And when you go to bed, you need to lie down and get yourself into sleep. Then you can use whatever the time that you still alert, you can apply into the practice. Walking, you can still apply when you do walking. We will learn about walking meditation. Or you can apply in daily work. While you do your work, you can still apply to it. So there's no excuse that you don't have time for it. So it should be, if you can move, you're awake, you can still apply. Okay, so that's the posture of the practice. Now come with the object of the meditation. That's very important. In this technique, we call anapanasati, which is called mindful on your in-breath and out-breath. Why is it that we need to be mindful for in-breath and out-breath? As you know, your mind is not something that you can see or grab or, can touch, can hold it. But it has the nature of drifting away, as we all know. That's what we call daydreaming or wandering thought. So analogy for that would be like a boat, float on water, and it often drifts when the current of the wind can actually take it here and there. So it's very difficult for it to anchor in one place. But how can you keep the boat to be in place, stay at one place? You use an anchor, right? So in this technique, how do you anchor your mind from drifting away? Is to have something that you can focus on to keep it. And that's called the in-breath and out-breath. And why is it? Because in-breath and out-breath, whether you like it or not, where you are aware of it, hopefully your heart continues to beat and you continue to breathe. Sometimes you don't even aware of it. It's the mechanical that, it does it for you to sustain life. You continue to breathe. So now the Buddha, found out that how I not use it to anchor your mind, to be mindful by contemplating and follow your in-breath and out-breath, aware of your in-breath and out-breath. And the moment you're aware of your in-breath and out-breath, you tend to, keep your mind at one place. So let's say that when you meditate, you follow your in-breath and out-breath, the wandering mind will sneak in and then drag you away. So if you're aware of your in-breath and out-breath, you quickly realize that, wait a minute, I drift off. So I'm not following my in-breath and out-breath. So I need to get back to my in-breath and out-breath, aware of your in-breath and out-breath. So that's why continue to come back to your in-breath and out-breath. And continue to do that. Eventually, your mind gets more trained that it needs to stay with the in-breath and out. That's how you anchor your mind. And when you anchor your mind, you eventually establish this called concentration of the mind, called samadhi. The concentration of the mind will help you. How does it help you? When your mind is drifting away and you're not in charge of it, or you manage it well, then the anger, the greed, the anger, the delusion mind will consume you. And when it consumes you, you tend to act according to it. When the greed mind consumes you, you become very greedy, very, very greedy. I think I don't need to tell you more about what greedy is. You want a lot. You want this, you want that, and when you don't get it, you become unhappy, and that's how suffering starts. Or your anger mind consume you. You cannot manage your mind to stay calm or loving or things like that, you will act according to the nature of anger, which is very vulgar, very aggressive, very destructive. And that's how it leads to suffering to yourself and to other people. Or the delusion might consume you, which is you're being clouded, not very clear, then you don't know what's right and what's wrong. You just act according, we call the instinct of the greed and delusion. Then you just, you just act on with that. Then that's how suffering and distraction, start. But with the concentrated mind, with the calm mind, you can see things clearer. Then you know that there's only cause and effect of everything. Every act is only a result, a consequence. Then you can make a choice. When you see it, then you're on the crossroad. You can make a choice. Should I take this route? Should I act onto this, or should I hold back? If I act onto this, it will yield this consequence. If I act it wholesomely, then it will yield the good, the happy result, a happy consequence. If I act unwholesomely, I will get the unhappy result. Do I want to be unhappy? Happy. You make a decision. With the knowledge now, you have the decision to make. And if you don't want to be happy, then stay on the wholesome side. So when you calm, you can see that. Okay? So there you go. When you have the concentrated mind, insight will develop. That's very important. That's why we need to anchor our mind so that we can have the concentration mind established. When concentration mind is established, insight will rise. But let's say the insight has not yet established. Do you still have benefit from that? Yes. A calm mind will give you serenity, very peaceful, very serenity, opposite from agitation, from greed, anger, and delusion. The serenity will give you a happy mind, even though you have not get much understanding. And don't take my word for it. When you sit here for 1 hour, persistently, insistently, you will get some concentration mind. Then you will see how peaceful you are before any insight arises. Okay? So that's why concentration is very important. Mind concentration is important. And without the awareness or become mindful of in-breath and out, you cannot establish mind concentration. Okay? So that's why it's important that we need to focus on our in-breath and out-breath. Okay, so that is the importance of mind concentration. So now step with the object. We have our sixth sense door. What are they? We have the door, the sense door, which is the ear. This is where it will receive the sound. We call the sense of the hearing. We receive the sound. So the sound will be the object of our hearing sense door. And then next call the eyes, the seeing sense door, which is we take image, whatever the image outside, we take it in and it will fit in. That's how we see the object. And when you see the object, you analyze what it is. When you hear something, you analyze what it is, right? So the object, and then the next sense door is your smelling, your smelling sense door. And the object of this sense door is the sense, the odor, whatever, not the odor, but just the scent, the smell, the scent that you pick it up, right? When you pick it up, whether it's smell to your acquired, to your liking, whatever the smell is, you like it, you tend to attach to it. If you don't like it, you get angry, you get upset, you try to get rid of it. So that's the object of the sense door. And the next one is the taste of your sense door, which is whatever what you eat, you pick it up. the taste of your, from your tongue, right? And then the object of the, called the texture, the thing of your body that you feel, whether it's smooth, rough, things like that. So that's the object of your body. So that's 5 already, right? Eye, ear, eye, nose, tongue, and then body. So that's 5. The last one is your mind. The object of your mind's door is the thought. Whatever, the thought, the upsetting mind, the anger, the memory, thing like that. That's the object of the mind. So you have 6 objects of your 6 sense door. Okay. So when you meditate, what should you do with this object? We don't want to, when you are learning, you are in a controlled environment, you are learning, and piece by piece, you need to understand it. But if too many objects coming on, it's very distracting, it's very difficult for you to understand. So we need to kind of eliminate it, not eliminate, kind of put it aside for now. Okay. So while you do the practice, right now, when you do insight meditation practice, when you hear a sound, only contemplating on hearing or just only sound, but not to analyze and not to figure out what it is, which is we normally do. When we hear something, we immediately try to figure out what it is. And since you are not skillful with the practice yet, you tend to either attach to it or you reject it or you reject it, right? And that will lead to suffering. That will lead to dissatisfaction. And that's what we don't want because we have too much of it already. So we need to relearn, right? So when you hear something, immediately contemplating sound. Aware of it, don't ignore it. Aware of there's a sound. Right now you hear tick tick, from the waterfall. Okay, you just hear it and recognize it's sound, and then go back to your in breath and out breath. So the next one is the object of the eyes. And you meditate, you sit and meditate, you close your eyes. Then you don't see anything. So that one less object to worry about, which is good, unless you have to open your eyes, but that's later on. The next one is the object to the nose, which is your smell door. You can't close this because you can't close your ear. You can close your eyes, but can't close your ear. You can't close your nose. Then when you pick up a smell, then contemplate it is only a sense. It's only sense of smell. Don't try to analyze what it is, whether it's a foul smell or a good smell, whatever. Just only smell the scent. And then go back to your in-breath and out-breath. Okay? And then the next object is to the tongue. Well, you don't eat anything, you don't drink anything. It's only your saliva that you taste of it, then less thing for you to worry about, unless you have a thing about your saliva. But if it is, then just only just the taste, right? And go back to your in-breath and out-breath. Okay. Now come the object to the body. So you can sit and then you can feel the wind, the air brushing through your body, whether it's tickle or whatever it is. And if you can bear with it, or let's say this mosquito or this fly landed on you, make you feel a little bit uncomfortable, then if you can bear with it, then just contemplating it's just only the texture, whatever, that touching your body without analyzing what it is or getting upset over it. Unless it's a mosquito that is so unbearable, then okay, then you can move and don't kill it, don't smash it, just kind of brush it off, just kind of get it out of your body because you cannot bear with it. But a lot of us, we care more about our mind concentration than the little kind of tickling or thing. So we tend to just aware of it and endure it. Okay? So that's 5 objects. The last one is the object of the mind. When you meditate, you can have this memory rises in your mind. When your mind, have not much to do, it has a lot of, you if idle time, you start to recall and try to remember things. So if you meditate and this thought rises in your mind, then you're aware of the thought and then aware of it only, and then go back to your in-breath and out. Don't follow the story, okay? And let's say that when you meditate and the environment seems to be kind of hot, it makes you feel uncomfortable, then that's the object of the mind that would be like upsetting, not liking something. Then aware of this upsetting mind, and then go back to your in-breath and out-breath. So 6 objects to the 6 sense. You just only aware of it, and then come back to your main object with it, in-breath and out-breath. Try not to follow, try not to analyze it, try not to react to it. Just aware of it, and then go back to your in-breath and out-breath. That is the basic purpose that we need to build it up, to be more skillful. Okay. So now that we learn the postures, the 6 objects of the 6 sense door, and the importance of mind concentration, or samadhi. Okay. One thing about sitting, you can make a choice whether you sit on the floor or on a chair. If you sit it on the floor or on the chair, the important part of it is to keep your back erect. Relax but erect, not like try to crunch it or try to force it, tensify it, because that's not good in the long run. But you don't want to slouch, or you don't want to lay back on the chair. I noticed that in the West, they make the chair a little bit kind of lean back because, more relaxing, and I guess easy for people with a big belly. But it's not very good for meditating because you tend to lay back. You can fall asleep, or you put strength on your back in the long run, because people who meditate, they meditate for hours, hour after hour. And if you don't sit correctly in the long run, you might have, inflict injury or backache or things like that. So it's important to keep your back perpendicular to your seat, and, always aware of your posture. If you tend to lean back, lean forward or lean back, you can gently, mindfully kind of, straight it back up. That's very important. And also it keeps the flow of energy, the air going through your body without any obstruction. This is, good for your physique. So that's why the sitting is very important. And a lot of people found that sitting on the floor, they tend to get better mind concentration. It's because it's more balanced, and it's because of, sitting cross-legged, thing like that. They felt it, but it's personal choice. And I guess it's common in Asia that people sit on the floor and they tend to be more balanced. Sitting on a chair, sometimes they feel not very secure. They might fall off the chair or something if they ever fall asleep, whatever. But sitting on the floor considerably, to some people, is the better choice. But it's up to you, because sometimes people cannot sit on the floor because they have previous injuries, things like that. But it's your choice. And then next is your hand. I love you ask me, should I put my hand on the left hand on top of the right hand, or vice versa, or should I? Whatever. Doesn't matter how you put your hand. The important part of it is you're aware of the touching of your hand. And a lot of people like to put the hand, on the lap, your knee, to keep them balanced. It's a personal choice, but it's okay. As long as you be mindful, whatever it is that you do, that's the main part. But the little thing here and there might help you with the sitting. And then that is the personal choice. Okay, so now we learned the posture, the importance of samadhi, how to deal with your 6 objects, we just extends. Okay. So now we do the sitting. And then after we finish the sitting session, I will explain how to do walking meditation.